Start with our big three stories of the day. And of course, it has to be that shooting yesterday. We talked about it on air as it was ongoing. We've learned a lot more. We have details in just a moment.
Plus, the sweltering heat in northwest Pennsylvania and other parts of the nation. We'll be talking about that, along with the manhunt that continues tonight for the prison escapee in the Philadelphia area. But first, an update on that Erie County story that we were just mentioning, the shootout that happened in Mill Creek Township as we were on the air last night. Lisa Adams joining us now with the very latest.
Yeah, I learned a lot today. As you guys were reporting this yesterday, I was just returning from vacation, but we did get some answers to some of the questions you had yesterday at this time. First of all, the unwanted family member in the house at 1045 East Gore when this all went down, now charged with firing at police and with arson, among other felony counts, is now identified as 26-year-old Keegan Baker. Sources tell us that it was a younger family member who called Mill Creek Police initially. The circumstances, as you know, escalated when he got there. This video that we're seeing behind you guys was provided to us by someone who was in the neighborhood at the time helping a friend. So the suspect barricaded himself in the home. Apparently now we know is the person charged with starting the fire. He was wounded, suffering multiple gunshot wounds from the abdomen down. At last word was in critical but stable condition. Here's just some of the charges this suspect is facing, more than a dozen criminal charges, most of them felony counts: attempted criminal homicide, attempted murder of law enforcement officers, arson, burglary. We do know East Gore Road is back open today. Crime scene still wrapped around that house at 1045.
Lisa, this is just a bizarre situation that played out. I mean, we were covering it live as it happened, but even now that people involved have had a day to digest it, what did you hear from them today about reaction to having this happen?
Well, you know, was it a fire? Was it a shootout? You know, what was it? It was a little bit of all of that. And now, because both state police and Mill Creek police officers were involved in the shooting incident, they can't, people that normally talk to us about what happened, they can't really talk to us. And the district attorney has told me that the major crimes unit from Butler State Police, Troop D, will now be handling the main investigation. Of course, a parallel investigation underway by Erie County detectives, probably for the use of force portion of things. Was the use of force that was used there warranted? We don't know, again, how many officers, Mill Creek and state, fired their weapons, and we also don't know how many shots were fired by the suspect at this point. We do know he's still in the hospital.
That's standard operating procedure, right? Once you've got use of force, you always bring in an outside group, or at least generally do, to make sure it was justified and that procedure was followed? That's
right. The one investigation is about the crimes that may have been committed there. The other investigation about whether officers acted appropriately in the circumstances.
And we also know the firefighters had to stand by for just a little while as police, you know, figured out what was going on before firefighters could even fight the fire inside.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
Firefighters speak a language of their own. I forget the proper term, but I didn't know that a SWAT vehicle had the ability to pour water on a situation, but it does. So they were able to connect the Mill Creek fire trucks to the SWAT unit, which had the ability to, you know, fire that initial water from the outside of the house. And that vehicle, because it was protected, you know, could get up close to the house where the firefighters weren't able to do that until they knew the scene was secure.
Bizarre to say the least.
Yeah.
A lot more about it on our website, erienewsnow.com. That is the spot to go to keep up with all of the news related to this. We've got a lot